So welcome everyone. We will have English as the main language of conversation, but in case you need some, let's say, if you want to add and contribute, because we have pre-foundation students who might feel that not everything is understood, they can switch to some Uzbek or Russian, but it would be great if you stick to English. Because as Erdogan earlier said, language of instruction, I mean, main language of your studies will be English. So you have to, get yourself adopted to speaking English, maybe even if you don't understand everything, but still there's a culture of English-speaking conversation. So welcome, our friends. We have pre-foundation and winter intake students here, and our students of level 4, whom I would also like to introduce later. But as I know, there might be some more students joining, because we expect that by the end of this week we will have somewhere around 20-25 students altogether of pre-foundation and winter intake. And so first of all, I would like to welcome you to Ground Zero Minor. This is our co-working space, which is also kind of a part of team education, because our students are allowed to spend time here as well. So you have two locations, which is Ground Zero Minor here in C5, and we have Ground Zero Kitabolama, which is located where? Hamid Alamjan, or we call it C1. C1, and it's
C1 as opposed to C. I have to make it I mean, some people live in C. Who's that? Me.
Alan lives in center of the Tashkent, and he considered that the only center in Tashkent. The rest is
C so I think Alan was there, and then they built.
Exactly. So let me introduce my colleagues who are working at Team University, making it a wonderful institution I'm sure the only one in Uzbekistan in terms of its ambitions and mission. So let me introduce Alan France, who is our rector, and who was with us from the beginning, and he is now in that position, as we say, a wise person, passing a lot of knowledge and wisdom to us, the younger generation.
Wise means old. I understand.
Well, that is always respected, I would say, not necessarily the age.
Be wise if you're young.
Hopefully you are referring to us.
No.
Not yet wise.
Looking across the table.
Yeah. So Alan spent almost 20 years sharing knowledge. Sharing knowledge here in Uzbekistan. Alan used to be the first deputy rector of Westminster University in Tashkent for like 17 or 18 years.
Technically 19. I don't know actually. I said 19, but you're quite correct.
19. Somewhere around that. But
it's
then,
a long time.
yeah.
In dog years, it's 150. Right?
or in cats years, I don't know how many. So Alan was. We were lucky in Uzbekistan to have Alan, who spent so many years building British education in Uzbekistan, and I think that started a very good tradition of getting British education in Uzbekistan in general. So Westminster University served as a knowledge-sharing platform for many universities, but including Team University, because Alan brought a very good team of people who established Team University from the beginning, and now new people are joining and making it more, let's say, sustainable and continuous. So can I switch to Erdogan? Erdogan is our colleague. Yeah.
Sorry. And pocket handkerchief.
So Erdogan recently joined our team as a dean, as the academic leader for Team University, who is the person who will be, who joined us from the hospitality and educational background, spent so many years in different parts of the world and brought a lot of best practices to Team University and Uzbekistan in general. And I would say that we are very lucky to have Erdogan, and you will meet Erdogan more and more, often and often, with and you can address a lot of questions and whatever you have in terms of academia and academic questions you have, and I'm referring to you as well, to level 4 students, and I'm sure that Erdogan will be your leader, and he will bring a new level of academic standards and academic knowledge and academic background, very international, and I would say that we are very lucky to have Erdogan. And me, who is probably here taking care of more logistical and business part of what's happening in Team University, I'm one of the co-founders of Team University and CEO. You will see me here and there, and I'll be happy to share some of my practical background, and hopefully maybe in future even teaching, if Erdogan and Anal would not mind. But so far I will be happy to bring some practical background from the business world of Uzbekistan. And I'm more than happy to bring our contacts, practical contacts, including our other founders. As you know, we have Zafar Hashimov, we have 3 bankers, people who spent dozens of years in banking system, including Capital Bank, Universal Bank, and Asia Alliance. So the owners and the chairmen of these banks are our partners, co-founders of these universities as well. We have Muzaffar, who is my partner in HM Partners. We have recently Arsen, who is one of the biggest event organizers in Uzbekistan. His business is called Unique Present. Arsen Dlyanchev, he is one of the biggest champions of event management in Uzbekistan. He organizes like dozens of events every week. Can you imagine? I mean, he's the biggest event organizer, MICE representative industry, because you know MICE and yeah. So these are people who would be supporting you from the industry part, like financial giants of financial sector, event management, trade, retail, which is Zafar Hashimov, the leader of the business, Korzinka chain, you know. And we as more like B2B companies, me and Muzaffar, and some other colleagues who joined us as well. We have one founder who is a champion in pharmaceuticals. So you see, you will be exposed to a lot of companies with whom you can interact in future in the form of internships, fellowships, guest speakership, etc. So that's all from my side. I will probably pass the leadership to Erdogan, and whenever you want, we can contribute in whatever you need for. And I'm sure that our colleagues will have a chance to introduce themselves, but it's up to you, Erdogan.
It's really very difficult to top up this nice introduction. Thank you very much, Hikmat. He's being very generous with us and very modest with himself. I think the vision of the founders lay down something very special. It's good for not only for the business, but not many people can really make money. Please correct me if I am wrong. From the educational, industry, you can.
You caught me.
No. What I was saying that.
Speaking, I would hope to steal a Samsung.
No. But I think the motivation behind our founders, our CEO, to start a university, a school such as this, is very simply to contribute to the Uzbekistan's future. Because if people are greedy and they want to make money, they definitely will go into different businesses. But education is here to invest in the long term. So our job, Ellen, myself, and our team, is to make sure that you achieve your dreams. And I would like to thank you for being here, because there are so many other faculties, other universities that you can choose. You could choose. You choose us, and we are very grateful for that. And we will do our best to make your learning journey as fun, as interactive, as fruitful as possible. Personally, I don't think that, you are kids that we need to, sit you down and spoon feed you. We will create an environment. We have our faculty members, we have our administrators here to facilitate your learning. We will give you the tools, and then unlike your high school or earlier education, here you need to do a lot. You need to improve. If your English is not that good, we are not native speakers, except Alan. Right. I don't think...
Native of what?
Native English speaker.
Tashkent.
Tashkent language.
Tashkent. C language.
Okay.
C language,
So, what I'm saying is, people are saying, oh, but my English is not good. Yeah, I mean, there's another challenge. There's another challenge that we need to overcome. You cannot give up from the beginning. Say, oh, I cannot understand anything. Yes, I mean, you have to work harder than others to be better, because once you complete, you are going to be competing, you are going to be working for companies, you are opening your own businesses, and you will be in competition with other people. The only thing that will make difference is your determination. People who are successful, like our CEO, people who are founding our school, we will bring them to you. You will have a chance. That we are the only university dedicated to a discipline, which is entrepreneurship. When I get this position, people ask, oh, you are dean of which faculty? Business, tourism, hospitality? I said, no, I am dean of entrepreneurship. We don't have, for now, different departments, because we see entrepreneurship is all integrated. For now, you will have your basic courses, then you will have your area of focus, and this is only possible with the support of admin, with the support of our rector, who had initiated this collaboration with London South Bank University. Our partner there is, we are always in contact. They are working with us to prepare your material, your courses, your structure, so that you will get a world-class education while you are in Tashkent. So I don't want to go into the UK connection. The expert, the father of that is Alan. If you...
A lot of responsibility.
Yes. So this is just the opening. Please, if you have any questions, don't be shy. This is the time that, you say, oh, what about this? We have our experienced students. We have our admin team representation here. We have Q team, our student relations. We are all here. All right? So use this opportunity. Please. Dan?
Hello all. Can I ask a question? Okay. What are you curious about? What are you thinking? I didn't understand him. I didn't understand him. Yeah? Because they speak too fast. Yeah? Did they speak too fast? No? Oh, good. Because I have learned to speak slowly. Right? Because he says I'm a native English speaker. In fact, I'm a native Northern. Like in most countries, language is various, okay, dialect, etc. So my English is very different than some people's English in the UK, certainly in Australia, definitely America, okay. So never call me American. Yeah, I'll tell you a little joke. In a taxi, they used to say, Akuda. And I'm going, eh? And they go, Amerikansky? And I look at them, and I go, Kazakh. So, English is owned by everybody. Don't use the word native, right? You're as much native as me, okay? So, because I'm useless, right? I have very little knowledge of Russian or Uzbek or any language. So I'm kind of disadvantaged. Students used to ask me the question when I first came, are we different? And I look around, and I'm looking around going, no, you're different. Well, okay. I think you're very similar to anybody of your age, being a student anywhere. But what's different, and I think as Erdogan said, is you're going to learn in another language. That's really, really hard. That is really impossible. I listened to a radio program yesterday about native languages. What is a native language? Very interesting question. And there was, it was done by a guy who was, his mother was Yiddish, Jewish, actually from Israel. And she didn't speak any English until she came to the UK. She was an immigrant. And there was a woman from Canada whose parents were Czech, from the Czech Republic, and she was born there for 2 years. And she went to Italy to live. Then she went to France to live. Then she went to Germany to live. Then she went to Montreal, which is French-speaking Canada. And then she went eventually to Calgary, which is English-speaking. She only learned English at 5. She had learned 6 languages before the age of 5. But she said, my native English language was my father's and my mother's. And she went back to Czech, not to learn the language. Do you know what to learn? This is a question. To learn the culture. Right? Because language and culture are together. You can't separate the two. So yes, maybe when you say native, it means cultural, right? Language. English is a universal language. So it's used as a form of, as Erdogan says, instruction. But the more important thing is not the language. You can learn anything in any language. There's no real difference. So when students ask me what's the difference, I said you've got the same brain. People are as intelligent in Uzbekistan as they are in the UK. Okay? So, question is, what is the difference? Well, Erdogan referred to the system. And of course, there is a big difference. And one of the things you will have to learn, and I think maybe level 4 students are now starting to learn, is the system of education. And in particular, the culture of education, right? And Hikmat refers to ground zero. And there is a particular culture here. What you feel is a culture, isn't it? What you see is lots of different things. But what you feel is a culture. What you go to team. When Hikmat says, hey, this is where we're going to be. And I went and I saw big, I loved it, big ovens, big cake mixes, right? Big, huge air conditioning units, big machinery. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I like this university, right? Because universities are boring. Tables, desks, chairs, really, really boring. I mean, I'm a dean of a business school. When people used to visit, what do I show them? Classroom, 4 walls, nothing really interesting. I used to love going to the art faculty and show them sculptures and art or engineering, fascinating, okay? So, but what's different about team is the culture. When you enter the building, there's a different culture, isn't there? Right? You can compare this to your school, or to the college you went to, or as I work with a number of state universities, as Hikmat said, I give advice to World Economy and Diplomacy and the Ministry of Agriculture. And you go to the toilet, and coronavirus doesn't exist in the toilet, right? It cannot breathe in the toilet. So So you don't need vaccination. Just go to the. And you know what? I find it interesting because in the agricultural university, the toilet is awful, but they have a lock on the door, and I'm like, is this to stop people going in because they die? To stop them using it? You know, you look at team, okay? And Hikmat, you can see the plates here. We have some same plates, don't we, in the canteen? Pictures on the wall, different. You know, it's a kind of environment that I think, yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, it's different. You know, level 4 students have been seeing this go. They were the pioneers, right? So you've seen it change, okay? How do you feel about the culture of team?
By the way, this is Saeed Azim. You
Okay,
will meet
Saeed,
him as
yeah,
well.
yeah, okay.
He's the chairman of the president of Student
Okay,
Union.
right.
So we had to introduce him.
Sorry,
I forgot.
introduce yourself.
So he will be a big boss for
Yeah.
you. And a big
Whoa,
leader.
big
brother, big brother.
Big brother.
Big one.
Yeah, about the culture. I will introduce Students' Union later. About culture, it's about freedom. It's more about freedom, and it's like the combination of British atmosphere is the traditional Uzbek. So there you don't feel yourself like you pushed to do something, but in this university you feel that you should do something to become successful. And this atmosphere gives you like this feeling.
Yeah, what do you think?
The most special for me is that we are equal and we're so special for our teachers, and they are also different from our school because you can compare, and of course you can know they are so, I don't know, they're special for me. The difference from school and the university, from our university, are very big.
I'm so sorry. For my experience, when I entered the university for the first time, I looked to the atmosphere and I said to Mom, I want to be here. I want to be the student. I had two universities to choose, Webster and Team University. And I choose because we have this special, unique atmosphere and the culture of Team University. I think you were there and you see it. And of course, everyone in Team University, we are equal to our students, to our staff. We don't have borders or some problems with students or staff. Everyone want to help. Yes.
First of all, good morning, So my name is Hikmat Abdurahmanov, and I'm a student of IFC. For the later period of time, I had a lot of things that I enjoyed. Like this university gives you opportunity to freely give your opinion or act and study with great conditions. As there is a little amount of students, you will have a lot of chance to increase your knowledge and go to your aims easily, right? And there is also like a beautiful condition, as I mentioned, that you can freely meet with people who are already successful, who are already in their own, they have their own future, and you will get the information that you want, and you will have like face-to-face connection. That's
Well done. So, I'm glad that you're making a contribution, because this also is an indication of how we see students' relationship. I think you have the freedom, but you have to have the responsibility to use it properly. So we have lots of policies, procedures and regulations. Sometimes this is called bureaucracy, but unfortunately bureaucracy is needed. Even entrepreneurs realise that as you learn some of the theory. Entrepreneurship is not all practical, by the way. Hikmat is an entrepreneur, but he's been on more courses than I've had qualifications and university education, right? And I don't understand it. He seems to be a perpetual student. He's a lifelong student. But he claims to be an entrepreneur. Why? You know, I'm a lifelong educationalist, but you know what? I don't go to any professional development courses for the last 50 years. Since doing my degree, I went, that's enough, right? And I hate it. I'm really, I think I'm the worst student you possibly could get, right? If I'm in a class, you don't want to teach me, right? Because I hate being taught. I hate being a student. Yeah, I'm a teacher. Now and I'm an educationalist, right? He's an entrepreneur. I used to say he sells vehicles, right? Big diggers, but he's the one that goes on all of these courses. And I'm like, wow. He went last week for a week. I think it was a holiday, but it's Moscow, so it can't be. It's either that or preparing to invade Ukraine, but I'm not too sure which. However, but you see, you know, when you're this, don't think entrepreneurship is all about getting your hands dirty. It's not, right? It's not. I mean, I'm working with a colleague, a very good friend of mine. He's a Ugandan Asian, came from Uganda, kicked out by Idi Amin with £10. £10 in his pocket. He's now worth 500 million pounds. That's not dollars, it's a lot more than dollars. Right, what does he want to do? Set up a university. Why? Because he thinks it's important for people to learn. Right? So, you know, I'm sitting there going, wow, he's said to me, Alan, can you help me do this? I'm like, okay. So far he hasn't paid me, but oh well, that's a down. He's a very good friend of mine. His wife is a friend of my wife.
It's in Birmingham, yeah?
It's in Birmingham, yes. So, you know, he's very entrepreneurial. He's made lots of money. I often feel this is interesting because he's a very good Muslim. You know, my wife is Muslim and they're Muslim, and he observed, he's built mosques, but do you know how he made his money? He bought over a chain of Jewish chemist shops called Cohen. His name's Patel, which is the most Muslim name you can get in the UK, and yet his company's called Cohen. I'm like, hey, I thought Jews and Muslims fought each other. But they don't, right? They don't. So life, you know, as entrepreneurs, you need to look at all of these and think, how did the guy who's, you know, I'm a really bad Muslim. I'm a Muslim, but I'm awful. You know, he's great, and we joke a lot of the time, right? But he's there, and he says why we should embrace, we should look at, and he's made money out of something, okay, which other people would see as maybe, I would say, haram, right? I know that's not, but you see how his view is very different. But he says we believe in the same things. Right, so, and he recognizes the value of those people. So this is what Hikmat does, and hey, he sets up a university. He's actually changed a lot, right? You know, from the beginning when we talked to now, you know, his view of education is very different.
If I may add something on what Alan said, I was a bad student as well. Not because, I mean, I was. You know, I didn't like to be taught, but I was an eager beaver. You know, it's a saying, like, I was the one sitting in the front. I was taller than some of my friends. I was the one sitting in the front. I was the one raising my hand. And yes. But we all know those, don't we? but, you know, because I had to, my family, you know, sent me to study in Cyprus with little bit money, not 10 quids, but with little bit money, and I had to get scholarship to continue my education. So after the first semester, I got high honors, and then I got some cut from my, you know, tuition fee. Then the next one, then the next one, and I graduated from 2-year program as the first in my class. And I'm not telling this in parentheses. I'm not here to promote myself, just to give you an idea. And before that, I was working in Burger King as a someone who flips burgers, who cook potato chips. The reason I decided to study was I couldn't become a restaurant manager. Because in Burger King, you are employee, expert, supervisor, manager, and it goes restaurant manager. I was somewhere here, and the people I trained came and became restaurant manager, came and became restaurant manager. I just said, what the hell is happening? Okay, I spoke with my area manager. He said, okay, you are working hard, but you don't have a university degree. I was working with a high school diploma. Sorry. I was not telling.
As well, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, much better than him because mine was wimpy. Mine was proper, but you won't know that.
Burger King. All right.
But I used to wash dishes as well.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. All right. But it's not a competition who did the worst job, but the thing is, I liked working Burger King. I was working 10 hours, 6 days, and in Istanbul back then, I was going back to my home, holding the handrail, and I was falling asleep. I don't know if it happened to you, but for 2 seconds you wake up, you feel like you slept like 10 hours, right? And you think that everybody is looking at you. You're embarrassed. So it happened to me, but because I couldn't be a restaurant manager, I said, okay, what do you need? They say, you are working hard, but you don't have a university degree. So I said, okay. I went to Cyprus, registered for 2-year program. They asked me, do you want to be in bachelor program? They said, no. 2 years, I will be here, then I will be a restaurant manager. Then I study, I got scholarship, I graduated with the first. The university told me that, do you want to continue 4-year program? We will give you scholarship. I called my area manager, I said, can I stay 2 more years? I barely remember me. He said, okay, go, stay. I studied 2 more years, graduated first in my class, and then the school said, do you want a university master? I said, yes, why not? I have an MBA, and back then Burger King gave up, and I was beaten by academic bug because I was working 10 hours, and my professors, they were teaching like 8-10 hours a week, and being respected more, earning more money than me as a manager. And I said, I can do that because I was training young people like you. Then I said, I can train. Long story short, I'm going to tie these 2 things together. Yes, entrepreneurship, being in the business life, needs personality, needs hard work and determination. And Ellen is right, it needs study as well. When I was teaching in other universities, my students were thinking that once they finish hospitality degree, they will automatically be hotel managers. Yeah. Okay? And unless your uncle, your father has a hotel or as a business to appoint you as a manager, it's not going to help. But what university education will give you tools, will work on your attitude, your personality, your relationships that you build from today. I have friends that I became friends in 1995. Okay, 27 years, not too long, but I still call them. They still work with me. A couple of them came and visit. A couple of them work with me. So what I am saying is, it's not only a piece of paper that you are going to get. You will meet industry people, you will meet world-class educators, you will use the documents, the books that are written by British or American professors. You will have professors from different nations. We are in the process of, bringing more international teaching team to you. But at the end of the day, it is you that will, take the next step. I know so many people who study the same thing, and they are, they have different careers. They are not this. But by using university, I live in 9 different countries. I travel 42 different countries. I attend so many different events. And compared to this international people, maybe this is not too much. But this happened because I did little bit more than other people. I work and I study. I work and I, did extra work, volunteer. I was in the students club. I was, doing something extra. So that's the reason why people will pick you. Not only this piece of paper that you will get, which is very valuable, but use this time to invest in yourself so that, 50 years later, 25 years later, you will, I don't want to go into but years later you will look back and say, oh, I'm lucky that I did this extra bit.
Great, fantastic. Erdogan, Alan, what do you think if we ask our colleagues, our students to introduce themselves?
Yeah. Sure, please.
And share some thoughts why they decided to join Team University. And let's start from you. Your name and something else that you would decide important.
My name is Sanam.
Okay.
I chose this university because it's one of the most the interesting university in Tashkent. Also, I want to say that I can improve my English skills. Also, I want to achieve my
Deep breath. Yeah, okay. You want to achieve your goals?
my goals.
Excellent.
By the way,
Thank you.
Are you intending or?
No, pre-foundation.
Pre-foundation. Sure. Good, well done.
Thank you,
My name is Bahadur, and the reason why I have chosen this university is that it is the first entrepreneurial university in Uzbekistan, and it is the first university by crossing the doors of which I have felt something different, because I visited a lot of universities in Tashkent, for example Westminster or Singapore University, but team gave me something different. When I have first visited, it was an open doors day, and when people introduced me to the university and about the teachers, staff, and of course the founders of the university, I've decided that I will study this university because I want to be an entrepreneur, and just I can say that I have already started my career, and it is actually near to your sphere.
Nice. Yes. I'll be happy to.
Yeah, Bahadur, you came. Okay.
So this is the reason why I have chosen this.
You came to an open day.
Yeah.
That was your
Yes,
decision.
yes,
So, what was about? What happened at the open day to help us understand? What can you remember?
To start from the beginning, just I have registered,
Yeah.
and when I came that day, there were about 15 or more people, and the university staff introduced us to the university and told us about the system, about collaboration with London South Bank University, and of course about the staff, about teachers from different countries, foreign countries, and of course about the founders of the university, which are the leading business people of Uzbekistan. So then it gave me the biggest thing about the university, and I decided to study there.
And now you're joining us with the winter or
With the pre-foundation.
pre-foundation. We have very good level of English
Yes,
here.
I thought that it would be great to start more faster. More
Absolutely. I think that's a very good decision, even if your English, you feel that it's sufficient, yeah, like 5.5 equivalent. But believe me, that even that is not enough. I mean, you would be exposed to so many books, so many international colleagues. So I think it's a very good decision to take your time, additional 6-7 months, to even invest and even more improve with your English, because one thing, and Alan, I think you have started one of the first pre-foundation programs in Uzbekistan.
Yeah, Westminster. It's one of the things.
Westminster.
Actually, it was interesting because you're the type of student I was looking at. I wanted people like you at Westminster, and the people used to say, "What's that?" Because I realised you used to have IELTS tutors, and I went. And I asked people, and they said, "Oh, it's 1-to-1, or it's 2 and 3." There was no experience, right? They were in somebody's lounge or kitchen, right? So there wasn't an atmosphere for these Hikmat. So
for
I liked it.
pre-foundation, I
Yeah, it
think
works.
you will be more
Yeah.
prepared than the newcomers
Absolutely.
at the
IELTS is useless,
autumn intake.
right.
Because as
Sorry.
Alan said,
Yeah.
you will not only improve your English, but you will be exposed to culture much earlier
exactly.
than the rest of the
That's right.
students.
So this is the reason why
Okay.
I
Exactly.
started.
Very good. Very good.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Mahzur. As mentioned before, it's the first entrepreneurial university in Tashkent, and that's the main reason for me to enter this university. And the second one is the owners, also the entrepreneurs, and I think they can pass their knowledge to us. They can pass their ways of failure.
Yeah. Success and failure as well. Good, Mahsud. Also pre-foundation.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Masoud, your meaning, your name's meaning is happy, right? Masoud, Mahsoud.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, good. I hope you will be happy with us.
My name is Sonia. I choose this university because of something here in Tashkent. It's international university, and I talked with teachers in other universities. They may be strict and not friendly, and I looked at students in those university, and they were so tired.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
the atmosphere in this university, so I choose it.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it. So we need to.
That's important. That's really important. Yeah. Good point.
Thank you.
Because to studies is not about being serious and always with the book, and it's about enjoying life first of all.
My name is Mohammed. I'm 17 years old. I chose this university because I was first time in this university. I like atmosphere and others.
You mean the building or people or combination?
Everything. You like the canteen, you like the pictures, yeah. You like the Students' Union president and his team,
My name is Shorakwan. I choose Team University because I really want doing international business in different countries.
Sharahman is one of my interns. He helps out with video for almost 2 years. We have been creating YouTube content, with the interviews. And throughout these 2 years, he was always watching what's happening at Team University. So it's a good, let's say, funnel conversion from fellowship to studentship. So welcome, Sharahman.
Can I ask how old you are, if you're not embarrassed?
I'm 26.
Right. And you're doing pre-foundation?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. When I first came here, I was shocked because people my age seemed like the Walking Dead, right? I think I'm trying to remember, I was like 50 something, right? And people would say, people my age would never go to university back again. I'm like, why? And everyone says, I've completed my education. And they completed my education at 21, 22. And I'm like, really? Now, people like yourself are great because I have a security guard at Westminster who started exactly like you, pre-foundation, foundation. He's now done his degree, he's doing his master's, and he's 32. Right? Because he looked at it and went, security guard, a bit like Erdogan, I don't want to be like that forever. So you can learn at any age. Look at Hikmat, he's 156.
157.
157. He's getting wiser. So I think it's a great blend, isn't it? A 17-year-old with a 26. You can learn together, right? So I think it's important. Another example of team. Team is not full of, quote, young people. I used to think, young people, I listened to a woman on the radio. She was 95 from Somalia. And she'd passed her, she never went to school. And she's so proud because she passed the year 5. She got a year 5 qualification. And she learned English And she said, the woman said to her, what's your ambition? She's 95, right? She said, I want to get my PhD. And I'm like, wow, 95 and she has ambition to learn. So where does it stop, right? This is entrepreneurialism in practice. It's not about young, old, it's not about that. So this is what team is about. So welcome, nice to see you, okay?
And
We have some other students over
All
there.
right, okay. One was sitting next to me that, I mean, it's
why did you run away?
Because he was, because the
I think
photographer.
the cameraman asked
Oh, there's a
me to shoot.
cameraman here, all right.
So tell us your name and which program you are part of.
My name is Abdurahmanov. So first of all, when I'm looking forward to the university, my mother suggested me this university, and another reason, when I came here to the university, I felt something unique. You know what I mean? Atmosphere of the university. And this is one of the reasons that I've chosen this university.
I like your honesty. If I am your age, your shoes, I wouldn't be brave enough to tell that I'm here because my mother suggested me. I will put it at the back and I say,
Well
I'm
done,
here
your
because-
mum. Well done, your mum. That's a good
Okay.
mum, that is. Come on.
No,
I know, yeah. Yeah,
I
know what you
wasn't
mean.
commenting, but
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is good because usually people are very self-conscious. They said, okay, oh, if I say something bad, they will, think bad, okay? You will, have more chance to meet with me, interact with me. You will see that, I'm not that kind of person. Because if someone get easily offended, easily broken, you won't be going ahead. You need to have thick skin, and you need to be able to take compliments along with complaints and criticism, and you need to make, if necessary, make fun of yourself. Nobody likes someone say that, hey, I am perfect, I know the best. But
I'm perfect.
all right, if you are 71, you are allowed at that level. You can.
It's not, the question is not of an age. I object to that. Nothing to do with age.
Alan, what?
There's absolutely nothing to do with age.
Alan, C District spoiled you at all.
I was perfect because you know why I'm perfect? Because my mother said so. And I'm very proud of telling you that because my mother said I was perfect.
My partner Muzaffar is the same. He lives somewhere around you also, so I think it's something C people are like that. Yeah.
It's difficult, when you're right all the time, it's difficult to be arrogant.
I mean, but what I'm saying is, all these, billionaires who are, the top of the food chain, they did not get there in one try. They didn't say that, okay, one day they woke up and said, oh, I have a brilliant idea, give me $1 billion. Didn't work like this. Even, Bill Gates and other entrepreneurs, they build something, it didn't work. They build something, they didn't work. The only issue is if you give up, no one will say, oh, congratulations, you tried 10 times and, good for you. Nobody will say that. For those who persist, who work hard, you will get maybe bad grades, okay? You will have issues. But if you just, put the white flag and say, okay, that's not for me, I give up, you will waste your time, your family's time, resources and everything. The important thing is don't give up. Work harder, okay? We are here as student union, admin, the university, faculty. We are here to support you.
Can we get the Students' Union to talk about the Students' Union? I think, sorry,
Two more
apologies. Yeah, come on forward. Come on forward, I can't see you. Come over here, come on.
All right.
Yeah, hello.
And the reason why I have chosen Team University is to set up my own startup and start my own business. I am 17 and in this age I want to set up one business and grow in education and in business way.
Good.
And you are also part of pre-foundation?
Yes.
Okay, so we have all the participants today are pre-foundation students so far. And we have one more person, Alan, and you will like him as well because he's also way above 20s.
16.
Hello, my name is Ulbe. I'm 35 years old. I'm spending dentistry courses in Uzbekistan, Russian, Kazakhstan, Central Asia. So when I read my message on my email that countries talking in English want to invite to their country to spend dentistry courses, I thought that I haven't got experience to do this. So Hikmat Abdurahmanov, I know him a lot of years. So when he started project Laboratory of Business, I think I was 25 years old, I think. 10 years ago. So I was there, I saw that young people can do something more what expense their friends or their parents. So I've tried to do this dentistry courses, so it was very good idea, good project. So I want to do this more useful, not only in Russian or Uzbek language, because in English language goes too.
Well,
Another lifelong learner.
well, no, he's just started. At 35, well done.
So it's great that we have a mixture of students of different ages and different experiences.
Uzbekistan has changed. I mean, I like this. 20 years, Hikmat refers to 20 years ago, and all I heard was, we need to give education to the youth. And I'm like, who's the youth? It's an interesting question, isn't it? Who's the youth? I'm sure you class yourself as young. I class myself as young, right? So who's the youth? And I used to have arguments with the government, because they'll say, well, I'm in here to get the youth. And I'm like, well, what about the old people? You know, there are people who need to be developed. Not, you're not old, but people need to develop. And I said, what's available for them? So we started in Westminster the first part-time master's course, and that was targeted. I was asked a question, who? And I said, I don't want 21, 22-year-olds who want to complete their education. And mothers used to hate me, because they bring along their daughter, their son, and say, they've got to complete their education. I'm like, well, go away and do something like you have done. Go away and get an education. And this was targeted, the average age was 30, 35. And people thought I was old. And I'm like, wow. So I think it's an interesting blend. It's like old people, young people need to come together and to respect each other and to swap ideas. Nobody's wise, really. They're just old. Remember that, okay? So he's an example of the fact on yourself. You know, wisdom doesn't necessarily mean getting old. You need to find ways of learning. Nice, good blend, great. Pre-foundation, fantastic. It's good, well done. Hope to see you being a professor one day then, like him. You never know, right? You never know.
I think we have some samosas and fruits around.
Nice,
Shall we bring it here to the table?
That's a good idea, yeah.
Or shall we just stretch our legs and get
well,
out?
If I get off this chair, I can't get back on again.
But you sit, because you are strategically
That's the difference between being old.